Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I hope you're well today. It's 4th of July and there are fireworks right when I start filming. I hope it's not a problem. Let's get into it. Uneasy Truce. So Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, they remain silent after an update in the bully probe. Now, the palace launched this investigation into the handling of the bullying allegations that were made against Meghan in 2018. But earlier this week, it was revealed that the palace won't even publish the report. Buckingham Palace confirmed that even those who participated in the report will not be told of its findings. Now, palace staff will also not be updated on the changes made as a result of the report's findings. There are said to be around a half a dozen members of staff involved in this review. This was a big review. A lot of people involved in this, which was conducted by an independent legal firm. Now, a senior source has told Telegraph recommendations will be taken forward, but we will not be commenting further. They're not going to say anything about it. It's almost as if we just like, okay, here are the findings, go lock it away. It's like, we're not going to talk about it. Zip, quiet, throw away the key, and let's just act as if it never happened. Let's just go on as if there was never any bullying allegations. Now, I do understand that for those involved who have been traumatized by this may not want their information, their names put out in the public, and I totally get that. You can take those things out. You can redact that information. But I think information that shows what happened should be revealed. And this could also vindicate Meghan. It could also show that she didn't do anything that was that bad. But the key in all of this is that lessons have been learned. That is what is really important, that something came out of this that showed, oh, we can't do this. We got to change something. And things have been changed because of this report. So it is understood that the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex will make no public comment. This is thought to be a part of an attempt to have both sides draw a line under this episode. Now, when the allegations first emerged, Meghan and Harry, they were defensive about it, accusing those involved of a calculated smear campaign. This came after the Times published a report accusing Meghan of driving 2 personnel assistants out of the household, undermining the confidence of a 3rd employee. With everything that is going on, it's just best that we look at what did come out, and lessons have been learned. Practices are no longer going to go forward the way they have been going forward. It's almost as if, well, whatever happened, whatever Meghan did or did not do within these allegations, one thing is for sure, changes have been made. And what was allowed before is no longer going to be allowed now. And that, my friends, tells me a lot. That says a lot. Best chance of stable future. Queen public outings pivotal to secure Charles's role as king, a royal expert has claimed. Prince Charles has been first in line of succession since his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, ascended to the throne when he was 4 years old. Now, the Queen's ongoing health struggles have been a cause of concern, but the 96-year-old monarch has pushed through as when she's been able to physically. And we must commend the Queen for that. She's going to go when she can go. And that is to be commended. But speaking on the latest royal roundup, the Daily Express royal correspondent Richard Palmer discussed the importance of the Queen's public outings and how they will help to provide the best chance of stable future for the monarchy. Speaking to host Pandora Forsyth, Mr. Palmer said, along with the Queen keeping things going, appearing in public, then that's the best chance of creating a stable future and handover of increasingly more responsibilities. So it would be astonishing if the Queen really stepped up her duties, wouldn't it? I think Prince Charles needs her around for the minute as well when this transition period that we have. right now continues going the way it's been going along and what we've been doing for a very long time now. This is what he was saying. So this is showing consistency. It's showing that the monarchy is stable and the transition from the Queen to Charles is going to be a smooth transition. It's going to get there without any hiccups. So for some time, the Queen has been suffering from episodic mobility problems. This has led to a decrease in her in-person royal duties and an increase in royal responsibilities for Charles and other members of the royal family. Now, other royal members stepping up have included the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the Earl and Countess of Wessex, and the Queen's only daughter, Anne. Despite her health struggles, the Queen made a visit to Scotland earlier this week to begin a week of royal events. The decision for the 96-year-old to travel to Edinburgh was only confirmed on Monday morning. Now, earlier this week, she was joined by Earl and Countess of Wessex for a traditional ceremony opening the royal family's Holyrood Week. Following her arrival in Edinburgh, the Queen took part in the ceremony of the keys on the forecourt of the Palace of Holyrood House. During the ceremony, which marks the beginning of Royal Week in Scotland, the monarch is symbolically offered the keys to the city by the Lord Provost. I just love these traditional things that have been going on for so many years. I think it shows consistency, it shows tradition, and yes, it's quite neat, I would say. Meghan Markle's latest interview could have left Netflix and Spotify pulling out their hair, a royal commentator has claimed. The Duchess of Sussex spoke out about U.S. abortion ruling in conversation with American feminist activist Gloria Steinem and journalist Jessica Yellen, published in Vogue. But royal commentator Kinsey Schofield highlighted how fans have been patiently waiting for content from Meghan and Harry's Netflix and Spotify deals, and the former actress's Archetypes podcast, which will focus on female stereotypes, due later this year. Now, Ms. Schofield went on and tweeted, "The entire world has been waiting for this woman to drop a podcast that promises to dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back." And she took to this conversation to Vogue? To Vogue she did this? So if I were Spotify or Netflix, I would be pulling my hair out. Meghan hit out at the move by the U.S. Supreme Court last week to end constitutional protections for abortion that have been in place for nearly 50 years by overturning the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling. Now, she spoke of her and Harry's guttural reaction to the decision, saying it told women they don't matter. She said, "Women are already sharing stories of how their physical safety is being put in danger. Women with resources will travel to get an abortion. Those without might attempt to harm themselves, one at tremendous risk to themselves." Meghan warned women will be forced to find abortion pills from unregulated pharmacies and be at the mercy of doctors and lawyers. She also went on to say, "What does this tell women? What does this tell women? It tells us that our physical safety doesn't matter. And as a result, we don't matter. But we do. We do. Like we do." Women matter. Women matter. The Duchess said, "The decision would have a disproportionate effect on women of color, and that is what is difficult to overstate." Meghan went on to make this quote, I remember her including herself in this quote as women of color, us. So at this moment, she's deciding to consider herself a woman of color for the sake of being able to show that she can relate to what is being said, because she's a part of that equation. Problems with this that Meghan has, and this is, well, several problems, is that she just blows with the wind. It's like, well, oh, we're talking about abortion. Oh, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. Oh, we're talking about voting. Oh, I mean, the woman wants to jump in anywhere she can and say, hey, I got a voice. I want y'all to hear my voice. Hear my voice. I want to speak out about this. Yes, I'm Meghan, I'm the Duchess, and I can relate. Yes, I can relate. And yeah, it's happened to me. You know, this is what she does. But when she talks about this quote about women matter, of course women matter. But she needs to understand what she is saying and walk the walk of what she is saying, because what she often does is that she undermines the women in her own life, considering she just had a bullying probe out against her about women who had accused her of bullying them. Not only that, but her own sister, her half-sister Samantha. She has defamed this woman. She has treated this woman like she doesn't matter. But yet we have to hear a quote from her that tells us that women matter. Well, if women matter so much to Megs, if they matter so much to her, then why can't she treat the women in her own life like they matter, rather than giving us this gurgitated quote that she got from somebody to make us think that she thinks women matter? If they really matter, show us, because you have women in your own life that you show us all the time that women don't matter. Let's keep it real and let's keep it straight. Megs, get your own life together before you go telling us how we need to go out and make a difference and how women matter. We know they matter, but from you, we don't see they matter. So get the stepping, girlfriend. Get it right in your own house is what I say. Okay. You know? So whatever with that. So she's also calling all men and women to get involved. Men need to be vocal in this moment and go beyond, because these are the decisions that affect relationships and families and communities at large. They may target women, but the consequences impact all of us. My husband and I, we talk about that a lot over the past few days. He's a feminist too, she continued. His reaction last week was guttural like mine. We were all guttural. We were gutted. Gutted. What? Can't believe it was overturned. What? They were gutted by it all. I tell ya, it was just so guttural. Who talks like that anyway? But anyway, so she goes on to say, I know that for so many women right now, this is a sentiment of despair. But again, we have to band together and not wallow. We have to do the work. These are the words of Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. And she is continuing to tell us things that, you know what, girl, we ain't listening to you. We're just not listening. Girl, get your own house right. Princess Eugenie, she shakes her head in shock as a dear friend, Ellie Goulding, speaks of key costs. The youngest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson has been playing her part in putting the spotlight on the state of sea population and on how to protect the biome, as she has led a series of many videos focused on the ocean published on her Instagram account. Introducing the video with the caption, the royal wrote on her Instagram account, in the last interview of this series and during the UN Ocean Conference, I spoke to my dear friend, environmental activist and UN ambassador, Ellie Goulding. We spoke about how we can all make a change to protect the ocean and why it is so important. Ellie, thank you for leading the way. In the chat between the friends, the pop singer explains how the health of our biosphere and what we rely on really does depend on the health of our oceans. She continued, and to find out things like we dump a truckload of plastics into our ocean every minute of every day. It's horrifying. In the video chat, Eugenie could be seen shaking her head in shock as Miss Goulding went on to warn about the dangers of microplastics. She said, and that plastic that gets sort of broken up into these really tiny particles called microplastics. And I read a couple of days ago that they have been found for the first time in the rain in the Arctic, which is just so scary. The artist stressed her belief that taking an interest in playing a part in the protection of the oceans is no longer an eco-warrior move. She went on to say that I just think it's part of our responsibility as custodians of this planet. Now, asked by Eugenie what people can do to safeguard the oceans, Ms. Goulding said, first of all, you can make a responsible choice when you go to eat. And knowing where you put your seafood comes from, it's always a good one. Now, obviously, single-use plastics, if you can just be aware of it and conscious of it, basically, we want as little plastic going into the sea as possible. Do some research, see what your local community might be doing, or maybe you could even start something. You could be the person that starts something that's pretty cool. Eugenie's series began on June 9th, recognized as World Oceans Day, and ended ahead of the last day of the UN Ocean Conference held in Lisbon between June 27th and July 1st. Now, the Royals have been supporting the cause of the protection of the environment for several years, and I think looking ahead, more and more is going to be done to help safeguard a lot of the things that we need to all start paying attention to. I think it's commendable, and hey, I think I've even been inspired to maybe even do something. We'll have to wait and see, because I'm really concerned about this. I mean, think about it. This is now starting to end up in the Arctic as really small particles. What does that mean for our environment? I think it says a lot, and I think safeguarding what we can in our own little special way in our own home and area where we live is a good start. So, okay, you guys, that's all I have for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all of your support. Remember to subscribe, share this video if you can, and like it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.